Good morning, dear students of class 10. Today me, Smita ma'am, your biology teacher, again come back to you with the next subtopic of this chapter, that is the circulatory system. From the figure only you can understand that what subtopic today we are going to deal with. Yes, you are appropriately right that you are thinking of, that is today we are going to read the structure of the heart. But before proceeding to that one, let me recall the things a little bit that we have already done in this chapter. So today we are again dealing with the circulatory system. The subtopic that we have already completed is the body fluid. We have already done that. Am I right? In that one we have mainly dealt the portion blood and its components. Am I clear? We have completed this one in our first session. In our Google Meet class, we have also completed ABO blood group. At the same time, we have also completed the structure of the blood vessels. And I hope you have gone through this all. So this portion we have already done. So today we are going to deal with the third that you can already guess is, that is the structure of the heart. One of the most important subtopic of this chapter, that is the structure of the heart. Here I have drawn a simple structure for you to let you know about the different parts and the things that are inside the heart. Clear? So before proceeding in details of that one, first of all I would like to say that what is the shape and the size. The size is near about mostly about the fist. Size of our face, the size of the heart is, okay. And regarding the shape, it is a little bit conical in shape. It is located in the chest cavity in the middle between the lungs and above the diaphragm. This you know, I know that. But we are having a concept that it is towards the left. Why? Because the lower portion, the conical portion of the heart is tilted towards the left. That is why we feel that it is towards the left. And you see also it is a little bit towards the left because the conical portion is placed towards the left only. Clear? Now if I come to its covering. So I said right now about the shape, size and covering. We know that the covering of the heart is called the pericardium. And inside the pericardium we are having the pericardial fluid. This pericardial fluid, why it is so important, this pericardial fluid, because it is present between the membranes of the pericardium and it helps, it protects, I will say rather, it protects the heart from the mechanical injury and from any kind of shock. So for that reason it is very much important. Clear, students? Now let us proceed. Human heart is mainly 4-chambered. So I am writing over here, human heart is mainly 4-chambered. Now what are the 4 chambers of this human heart? There are 2 auricles. I am writing 2A, that means A stands for auricles. And here they are having 2 ventricles. V stands for ventricle. So in the figure let me write what are that? 2 auricles. One is right auricle, another one is left auricle. Clear? These are the 2 auricles. The auricles are in the upper portion of the heart. They are the upper chambers of the heart. And the lower we are having like that only same, right ventricle and left ventricle. So total we are having 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? Now these auricles are called the receiving chamber. Auricles are called the receiving chambers, whereas the ventricles are called the distributing chambers. Now why? Why the auricles are called receiving chamber? Why the ventricles are called distributing chambers? The auricles are called receiving chambers because they receive the blood either from the body parts or from the lung. The auricles receive the blood either from the body parts, all parts of the body, or from the lungs. On the other hand, ventricles, they distribute the blood to the different blood vessels. They are mainly responsible for distributing the blood. Clear? So they are called the distributing chambers. Now to which blood vessel they distribute the blood, and from which blood vessels auricles receive the blood, I am coming one by one. Clear? Apart from that, you can see over here that I have drawn the walls at the side. See? If you see minutely in the diagram, you can see I have drawn the wall of the auricles thinner, but the wall of the ventricles thicker. And even the left one is more than the right. The left one is more thicker. Left ventricle wall is more thicker, or muscles are more thicker than the right one. Now, what is the reason for that? Why the ventricles are having thicker walls, whereas the auricles are having thinner walls? There is a reason for that. What is the reason? The reason is that the auricles are receiving chambers. That only work is to receive, nothing else. They will receive and push it to the ventricle. But on the contrary, the ventricles have to distribute the blood to all the body parts, either to all the body parts or to the lungs. Okay, they have to distribute, and that too they have to work against the gravity. They have to pull the blood, rather I will say. So it's a very heavy work, and that is the reason why the wall is very thick. They have to work against gravity, and they have to push up the blood. Okay, they have to pull it against gravity. That is the reason why they are having thicker walls, and they are having, auricles are having thinner walls. Clear? So 4 chamber, distributing, receiving, I said. Next, I would like to say another thing also. See, the right and the left auricles are separated from each other. Again, the right ventricles and the left ventricles are also separated from each other. That is done by a septum. This septum. The right side is totally separated from the left side, and this separation is done by interauricular ventricular septum. Okay, dear students. Now, after that, they are having aperture called intraauricular ventricular aperture. Aperture is also there. Okay, there are 2 apertures. One is between the right auricle and the right ventricle, and one is between the left auricle and the left ventricle. That is called interauricular ventricular aperture. Interauricular ventricular aperture. Now, after the 4 chambers, I would like to come another important thing. I explained the 4th chamber first, then I would like to come to the valves that are present in the heart. The valves that are present in the heart. Why I am coming to next to the valves? Because I have to deal the covering of this aperture. Clear? As I told you that the auricles receive the blood from the different parts of the body. Then when they will receive it, okay, after receiving it, they will naturally push it to the ventricles, but they are guarded here by a valve. Okay, by a valve. Why this valve is present? To prevent the backflow of the blood from the ventricles again to the auricles. Here valve is present, that is made up of 3 cups. Here I have drawn here 3 cups. 1, 2, 3. So it is called the tricuspid valves. So valve that is present between the RA and the RV, RA and RV is called tricuspid valve. Why? Because 3 cusps are present in this valve, or flaps are present in this valve. Similarly, the aperture that is present between the left auricle and left ventricle is also guarded by a valve that is made up of 2 cusps. 1 and 2. That is called bicuspid, or you can say mitral valve. So the valve that is present between LA and LV is called bicuspid valve. Total valves we are having 4. One is tricuspid, one is bicuspid. We have already done. These are mainly one is having 2 cusps, one is having 3 cusps. Apart from that, we are having also, see this semi-lunar. We are also having another set of valves that are called the semi-lunar valves. Why they are called semi-lunar? The word semi means half and lunar means moon. See the shape? It is half moon shaped. It is half moon shaped. So it is called semi-lunar valves. These semi-lunar valves are 2. Okay, one is present at the base of the aorta and another one is present at the base of the pulmonary artery. I have written over here pulmonary artery as PA. Now I would like to mark the diagrams over here to let you know which one is my pulmonary artery. This one is my pulmonary artery, and in blue I have marked it because it is carrying deoxygenated blood, and this one is the aorta. The largest artery. Aorta is the largest artery. Now I would like to give you the concept about the blood vessels that are entering and leaving the heart. Now the third one I would like to go with the blood vessels that enter and leave the heart. Now first I am coming the blood vessels that enter the heart. As I say that auricles are receiving chambers. So from where they receive the blood? They receive the blood mainly from two veins. We know that veins carry deoxygenated blood. So veins bring the blood to the heart. Veins bring the blood to the heart. So this one and this one I am marking. From the upper part I am marking in black. This is called superior vena cava, and this one is called inferior vena cava. Now, what is the difference between this inferior vena cava and superior vena cava? Superior vena cava brings the blood from the all upper parts of our body, mainly from the head, from the arms, and from all other parts of our body which are concerned with the upper. Okay, so they are called superior vena cava or precaval vena cava or anterior vena cava. Three consecutive terms we can use. On the other hand, the inferior vena cava is also called posterior vena cava or postcaval vena cava. Why? Because they mainly bring the deoxygenated blood from the lower portions of our body, mainly from the abdomen, from the legs. They bring the blood from there, all the deoxygenated blood, and then they deliver all this blood to the right auricle. That means they are receiving. So they are the receiving chambers, and who are the vessels that gives the blood to it? That are the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Clear? Likewise, in the same way, there is also an organ called lung. Okay, from the lung, the oxygenated blood. In the lungs, we know that the oxygenation happens. That means carbon dioxide rich blood is oxygenated and form oxygenated rich blood. Okay, so there from there, the oxygenated blood, O2 rich blood, oxygenated rich blood comes to the left auricles through the pulmonary vein. These two are my pulmonary vein. As we know that the function of the pulmonary vein is just like the artery. Okay, function of pulmonary vein is just like the artery. So they carry oxygenated blood from lungs after purification to the left auricle. So they are also entering into the heart. So they are my entering blood vessels. So in entering blood vessels, what I can write over here, what are the blood vessels that are entering into the heart? One is the superior and inferior vena cava, and the second one is, which one is? That is the pulmonary veins. They are 4 in numbers, pulmonary veins that are entering the left auricles are 4 in number. Now I have to tell you which of the bloods are leaving the heart. Which one? See one. Let me use this one. I am using the blue for representing the deoxygenated blood. The deoxygenated blood is coming to the superior and the inferior vena cava and is coming to the right auricles. Then right auricle, when the valves will open, the tricuspid valve will open, they will come to the right ventricle. The right ventricle will push the blood to the pulmonary artery. As we know, pulmonary artery functions like the veins. They function is like the vein. They carry the deoxygenated blood. So they will take the deoxygenated blood by opening this semilunar valve. The semilunar valve will just open and the blood will be pushed up, and the pulmonary artery will take it and will give it to the lungs for purification. So this is carbon dioxide rich blood entering into the lungs for purification. So here is all about what? So it is coming out of the heart, isn't it? So it is called the living blood vessels. At the same way, if I come to the left auricles, the pulmonary vein is giving the oxygenated rich blood to the left auricles, then it is coming to the left ventricle by opening of the bicuspid valve, and when the bicuspid valve opens, the blood let into the left ventricles. The left ventricle, through it in now, I will show the arrow in red because they are oxygenated one, so they will go to the here. They will go here. That means the largest artery, that is the aorta. So aorta is also coming out from the heart, isn't it? So my living blood vessels are the, one is the pulmonary artery from the RV, pulmonary artery I can write, it is from the RV living, and another one is my aorta. It is from the, see, from the LV. And here also you can mark it like this way, superior and inferior, giving to the RA, and pulmonary vein to the LA. Means right artery, auricles and left auricles, and these are living from the right ventricles, and outer is living from the left ventricles. So this is all about the structure of the heart I had explained. Along with that, I have to explain you two more terms, important terms. What are that? One is chordae tendineae. Chordae tendineae. What is that? CHORDAE. Chordae tendineae. What is that? Chordae tendineae are the cord-like structure that holds the tricuspid valves. They hold the tricuspid valves, and this valves, these chordae tendineae are in turn attached to a muscle that is called the papillary muscle. Papillary muscle. So here two important terms are there. One is chordae tendineae and another one is capillary muscles. What is chordae tendineae? They are the cord-like structures that are held, which held the valves, tricuspid valves. Okay, and the papillary muscles mainly in turn hold the chordae tendineae in position. Clear? Apart from that, we are having another important term that is called coronary artery. What is the function of this coronary artery? These arteries supply blood to the muscles of the heart. They supply blood to the muscles of the heart. Coronary artery supply blood to heart muscles. Now suppose there is any blockage in this coronary artery and they are not being able to send the or supply the blood to the heart muscles in proper time. Then what will happen? There will be insufficient supply of blood to the heart muscles, and in that case what happens? There is a deadening of that particular area, and this often referred to as myocardial infarction, or we generally use the term that is called heart attack. We use the term heart attack. If there is any blockage or any insufficient supply of the blood to the muscles of the heart, there occurs a myocardium infarction. That is called the, commonly we use the term heart attack for that. It is myocardium infarction. Clear? And sometimes another also associated term occurs, that is called angina pectoris. That is also due to the insufficient supply of the blood to the muscles of the heart. Clearly, same there are some coronary veins who take the impure blood from the muscles and deliver it to the heart. Clear? So there are the coronary arteries. So here important function you have to reach chordae tendineae, papillary muscles, coronary artery, and if there is any problem in this supply, they will cause the heart attack. Clear? Then I would like to explain you the blood flow. One I have explained, that is the structure of the heart today mainly, and second I want to explain a little bit with the help of this diagram only, blood flow in heart. Already I explained, then also I want to have a greater idea of that one. Second, these two topics I mainly covered today. Blood flow in heart, how the blood flowing occurs in this heart. See, first of all, superior vena cava, I am marking in black. Superior vena cava and inferior vena cava carrying the deoxygenated blood from all parts of our body towards the auricles. Clear? then the auricles with the opening of the tricuspid valves delivered it to the right ventricles. Clear? When they delivered it? At the time of systole. That is the contraction phase. Contraction of auricles. During the contraction of the auricles, what they will do? They will push the blood or gives the blood to the ventricles. Clear? Now at that time the ventricles are in diastolic phase. Diastole. That is the relaxation phase. At that time the ventricles are in diastolic condition. When the auricles are in systole condition, the ventricles are in diastolic condition because they are receiving the blood. Okay, so from the superior inferior vena cava, right auricles receive the blood, and then with the opening of the valves, the blood goes to the right ventricles. Now here my blood is. What type of blood? Deoxygenated blood. Now the second phase will be, this is the first phase. The second phase will be just opposite. What is the opposite? Now the ventricles will contract. That means ventricles will be in contraction position and the auricles will be my diastolic position. When the ventricles will contract, what will happen? They will pass the blood to the pulmonary artery. Sorry, I have done it in the red, but it should be in the blue because it is carrying the deoxygenated. Am I right? So it will be in the blue. So they are receiving the deoxygenated blood when they are in systole, a diastolic condition. Then when the auricles are in systole condition, they are giving the blood to the ventricles by the opening of the tricuspid valve. Once the tricuspid valve opens, the blood is here. Then the right ventricle push the blood to the pulmonary artery. Once the blood goes in the pulmonary artery, the semilunar valves open while it goes, and after going, when the ventricles contract, again come back to the diastolic position. This contraction, then after that there will be a relaxation position. At that time what will happen? They will contract and give it to the, first they will contract, the ventricles will contract and give it to the pulmonary artery with the opening of the semilunar valves. This valve will open at that time. Clear? And then they will take the impure blood to the lungs for purification, where the deoxygenated blood will become oxygenated, and this pure blood will be taken again. This pure blood with the help of the pulmonary vein will be again come back to the left auricle, again receiving chamber. When they will receive it, the auricles will be in relaxation phase, but once they receive it, then they have to contract. Why? Because they have to pass the blood to the ventricles. That means they are again systolic condition while they are pushing it. So after systolic, what will happen? The valves will open, then it will go to the ventricles. Now the ventricles will receive it, and after giving it to the ventricles, these valves will close. Bicuspid valve. So what the valves are mainly doing? They are preventing the backflow of the blood to the auricles. Clear? Again what will happen? The left ventricle, from the left ventricle, the oxygenated blood will be going to the aorta, isn't it? They will push it to the aorta. So ventricles have to be in the contraction phase for pushing it to the aorta. So it will go to the aorta, and from the aorta it will be distributed to the other parts of the body. Clear? So at the base of the aorta there is a semilunar aortic valve is also there, that will open and let the blood flow, and then after going they will again close. Why they will again close? Because otherwise the blood will again come to the ventricle. So they have to again closed. So that will be also closed. The valves will do their function, and at that time the ventricles will be in relaxation position. After that, so that is the first phase, that is, I am rubbing here a little bit. So I want to tell you here the cardiac phase. Then systole, first one, who is going in systole, auricles are going in systole, that remains for about 0.15 second. Then the ventricles go in systole, ventricles, that also remain for 0.3 second. Okay, and then there is a joint diastole. When both of them comes in a joint diastolic phase, both auricles and the ventricles both come in the diastolic phase, that is called general pause. The phase is called general pause, which remain for 0.4 second. Okay, so approximately it is total comes about 0.8 second. That is the cardiac cycle. That is called the cardiac cycle. One systole, one diastole simultaneously that occurs. That is called the cardiac heartbeat. We know it as a heartbeat. Okay. And the whole phase, this phase which remains for about 0.8 second, that is called the cardiac cycle. Okay. So here today I explained about the structure of the heart, systole and diastole, blood vessels entering and exiting, some heart diseases that occurs, some conditions, dysfunctioning that occurs like heartbeat that occurs due to insufficient supply of blood. And at the same time I explained the cardiac cycle. So go through this, students. Okay, then we will have the details of the next topic in our Google Meet class. And practice the diagram also. Be aware with the labeling. Okay, go through the labeling also. And while you will read this, look at the diagram and read, so that it will be a little bit helpful for you in understanding. Clear? Till then, stay safe. Go with your studies. Bye.